When a narcissist cannot control you directly, they try to control the narrative. They control how other people see you, which means they run smear campaigns, try to tarnish your image, and recruit flying monkeys, enablers, to send them in your way and torture and harass you. They make these flying monkeys stalk on you and extract information so that they keep using it against you and keep causing the harm. All of this in combination is called abuse by proxy. A narcissist does that when they can no longer harm you directly. Also, if you want to know how to deal with a smear campaign, I have created a video on how to run an anti-smear campaign against a narcissist. It will give you insights into how to see the smear campaign, how to fight with it, and how to minimize the damage. Want to watch the video? Here is the link. Hi, I am Nanish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. In this episode, we're going to talk about how a narcissist does abuse by proxy through flying monkeys and how they keep causing you harm even after leaving you. If you have been a survivor of this and if you're still going through it, please make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon to stay notified. Also, let me know in the comments what your experiences have been specifically with smear campaigning and how have you dealt with the smear campaign, what have you done? Because if you share your experiences down in the comments, maybe someone can get benefited. Some survivor might find it helpful and they could potentially deal with the situation that they are struggling with. Let's get started with understanding the whole process. Now, there are 4 steps a narcissist generally follows when smear campaigning, when recruiting these people against you, when isolating you, and so on. And we are going to cover these steps one by one so that you can see the full picture. Let's start with understanding step number 1, and that is the narcissist begins smear campaign. The narcissist tries to tarnish your image by spreading lies about you, by fabricating stories, creating a web of lies, and just making up things that are not real, that are far, far from reality, and just tell terrible things about you to people, to those who could be potentially turned against you, who are not close friends, who are maybe mutually known people, mutually known friends, who have the potential to accept the narcissist's narrative and then become a flying monkey or an enabler. So the narcissist keeps doing it constantly. It's clockwork for them until you lose your circle. You are seen in a bad way, maybe in your office, if they use the employees, the people that you work with against you. They may use your friends, they may use your family, they may just do everything, reach out to every single possible person they can reach out to destroy your image and reputation. And it's very unjust because sometimes they succeed at doing so. Some people lose their jobs, others lose their families, some lose their close friends, and so on, but they get isolated in the process. They keep doing it until they find a group of people who are enablers, who probably think the same way about you as the narcissist, and the narcissist then sides them, brings them on their side, and you're left here alone, now having to fight with the narcissist and the flying monkeys in a group. It becomes far more complicated because the narcissist may not directly attack you. Now you have a group of people attacking you directly or indirectly. Now, the step number 2 in this process is the manipulation that a narcissist does. Once recruited, the narcissist then starts brainwashing these enablers and flying monkeys, starts turning them against you. Slowly, gently, it's like dripping the slow poison in their blood until they become a vampire like a narcissist, until they get filled with hate and they loathe you, they want to destroy you, they are motivated enough to attack you. The brainwashing happens quite in a similar way as it happens in a cult. The narcissist acts like a cult leader, and these cult members are the enablers who just take the narcissist's sayings as the gospel, as the holy word, and they just accept it and act on the commands. After the recruitment, the narcissist then gives these flying monkeys, these enablers, specific jobs, and these jobs have to do with destroying you. These jobs have to do with stalking on you. These jobs have a lot to do with to harass you, basically to intimidate you, to tell you that I, as a narcissist, I am still here. It doesn't matter. We are physically separated, but I have not left you alone, and I'm still going to impact you. You can't run away from me. And that terrorizes some people, because think about it. You're the one who has experienced it. Think about being stalked on consistently. Think about being followed, chased. Think about being harassed for no reason. Maybe it's your co-worker, it's your boss now who has started to give you abuse for no reasons. There is no explanations why you would see such a change in their behavior. And then think about the triggering that could potentially happen. Of course, many people kind of re-experience the same thing, but through this different phase. It's like the narcissist is acting through them. The narcissist is like this devil who has now taken this enablers or the flying monkey's body as the vessel and is now tormenting you. Step number 3 is more about sending flying monkeys. They choose the most compliant, the most obedient, the easiest to influence flying monkeys and enablers in your way, and do the things as I explained a while ago. It could even go to the extreme levels of the narcissist penetrating their way into your family and then turning your siblings against you. And if your parents are narcissists as well, then you can imagine the hell you might have to live through. Because then the enabler gets the enabler. They enable each other's version of the reality about you, and then you have a hell lot of abuse to deal with. With the narcissist who you were connected with romantically or in other way, you easily got rid of them. But family, most of the times, is not that easy to get rid of. Then you have a lot going on, And what that does is that makes you think and wonder, maybe I'm the crazy one in all of this. Maybe I'm the one who is the common denominator in all of this. Maybe I am the one who is causing all of this to myself. I should take responsibility, which brings in a lot more shame. And on top of that, if this harassment goes on, if this stalking goes on social media, outside of social media, you might become paranoid. You might start perceiving threat even in the environments that are considered the safest. You might install cameras, you might have to do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise. You might have to change devices, you might have to, bring in cyber security and check if everything is okay, if your phone has been cloned, because those things happen. It just makes you a lot more anxious. You're not properly eating, you're not sleeping, because they're not leaving you alone. They are sending these people who are showing up, random people who threat you online, who say things that are bizarre and unacceptable, unexplainable, but things happen. I remember an example that someone shared with me. They were harassed by the narcissist's mother, who also happened to be a narcissist. So what she did, the narcissist, she exposed the personal details such as the phone number, the name and the address of the target on an online dating website. It was a hookup website or something like that. So this person shows up at their door and asks if they want to have some kind of fun. Apparently it was the narcissist who had impersonated the victim, the target, and as the target shared the details with this person who wanted to have fun and made them to show up at their place. This is how petty they can get. This is how pathetic they can get. This is why I say they do not have a moral compass, because they can stoop so low as to torture and punish you. This is how they keep sending people in your way if they cannot impact you directly. Step number 4 in the process is re-victimizing the victim. you feel re-victimized, as I was explaining again in the step number 3, because this whole process is interconnected. So it just, every step is a part of the other step. Re-victimization happens. You thought after leaving the narcissist you would be okay, you would focus on your healing, you would move on, you would have a new world to explore, you would have the stressor out of your environment, and there is nothing to worry about now. But now the narcissist has started smear campaigning. The narcissist has started sending these people in your way, doing harmful things that cannot be proved, which is why the plausible deniability comes into the picture. You know things are happening, you know who is behind, but because you can't prove it, let's say legally, so it does not exist. If you can't exactly show the origin of it, you can't hold them accountable, which is the biggest reason why you feel isolated. You might try to seek legal help, but our legal system is not fully equipped, I would say, to recognize this kind of coercion, this kind of abuse, and this kind of trauma. So you feel re-victimized. Instead of getting better, you keep getting worse with every single day. Your PTSD symptoms keep getting worse. You have nightmares now. You're paranoid. You wonder if someone is going to show up at your window and peek through and see who is inside. You don't know who is going to knock on the door at 2 a.m. in the night, because things have happened. You are forced to physically change your address, including changing your phone numbers, deleting your social media profiles. They just do not stop, which is again the obsession of the narcissist and their relentlessness that just keeps them going. They have to somehow impact you. They have to somehow control you, because they cannot stand the fact that you are out of their grip, and they can no more harm you, no more decide how you feel. Your emotional state is and should be decided by the narcissist as per them, in their opinion. It has to be the way they want it to be. If it is not, then it is understood, accepted, and seen as a form of failure for the narcissist, so they keep coming back at you and leave you feeling re-victimized. Now, if you are a survivor of this traumatic post-separation abuse, just understand that you would have to make some difficult choices, like changing your address and doing stuff like that to get relief. You would have to maybe go underground a little bit, hide a little bit, change things that they could potentially use against you, change all your personal information. Sometimes it goes to the extent of changing your name as well. That is how you can get rid of these people, because otherwise they're not going to stop. And those people who you have lost to the smear campaign, just see them as good riddance, because they were not good friends. They just accepted the narcissist narrative as to be the ultimate truth without consulting you, without seeking clarity, and they just cut you off. They just went silent on you, which tells us that they were not on your side either way. They just were there, and their intentions were different than what they were expressing. It's a good loss, and you can replace with them good friends who you can trust. That was it about abuse by proxy. I hope you found this explanation helpful, and if you did, please let me know in comments. Make sure to like, share this video, and subscribe. I'll talk with you in the next one. Until then, let the healing begin.